Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us today. I am super excited for today's session. We've got a great session lined up. We're going to be helping you guys map out your plan for the third quarter. If you can believe it, we're already halfway through this year. Time is flying by. And if we don't take a minute to consciously hit the pause button and say, okay, how am I doing? Am I on track? Am I off track? What are my goals? What are my targets? And kind of revamp and kind of reset the targets, the year just kind of passes you by and you wind up with what you've got. So let me share my screen. I'll kind of walk into the agenda and we can hit the ground running. Like I said at the beginning, this is going to be more of an interactive session. It's going to be less of me talking to you and more of you proactively thinking about your goals, thinking about your targets. And then we're going to, as a group, we're going to be working and evaluating our own online marketing. We're going to be looking at our websites. We're going to be looking at our rankings. We're going to be looking at our overall strategy and seeing what's working, seeing what's not. So if that's okay with you, just kind of hit one in comments, just so I can make sure that works for you and you're okay with making this more of an interactive session and less of a teach session. Yana, I've got a 1 from you. Climate Care, I've got a 1. Awesome. Appreciate the feedback. And it helps me if you guys do engage, because then I know that what I'm saying is on point and that you're sticking with me and we're on the same page. Good. Kevin says, fine with me, but it's my first day in the industry. Good. Well, hopefully we'll get you up to speed quick and make this super productive. Ted, Josh, Frank, Kathy, thank you for the ones. Thank you for the engagement. So here's the plan for this afternoon and for what we're going to do. And then we'll get you guys off to your Friday, 4th of July festivities as quickly as possible. So the first thing is I want to make sure you've got clear goals and targets for the quarter, right? We know that success is goals, all else is commentary. And if you don't consciously pause and say, okay, July, August, September, what are the goals? How much revenue? How many jobs will we have to run to make that a reality? What do we need to make sure our average ticket is in order to bring that into fruition? Then there's no way you're going to hit it, right? If you're not clear on the targets, you'll never hit those targets. So how many of you, if we can just get really clear on the goals and the KPIs, more importantly, which we're going to talk about here in a second, will feel like this is a productive use of your time? Just give me a yes in the chat. Kevin, thanks for raising your hand. Give me a yes if we can just get the goals and the targets lined up. That would be a pretty productive outcome. Excellent. Okay, thanks, guys. So we want to set goals and targets. The next thing we want to do is we want to realign our KPIs and our tracking. So goals are great, right? And goals are, help, but a goal without a plan is a waste of time. So for me, the next thing we have to figure out, like if the goal is what it is, let's say it's 50K, 100K, 120K in revenue during those months, the more important thing for us to solve for is what will we need to do? How many jobs will we need to run? And more importantly, how many leads will we need to generate for our business in order to make that a reality? Because when we're clear on our targets and we know, okay, I need 77 leads in order to get that number of booked jobs, in order to hit that revenue target, then we can organize action plans. We can organize strategies. We can figure out what we need to do more with SEO, pay-per-click, social media, our website as a whole. So we want to realign our KPIs, make sure that we've got the proper tracking so we can see, okay, are we on track in in July, August, and September, or are we off track? From there, we're going to map out the plan, right? And all of us are coming at this from a different place. Some of you guys run really successful plumbing, HVAC, home service companies. Others of you are more in the early phase of your business. Some of you have really aggressive strategies with SEO and pay-per-click and Facebook ads. Others of you, you're just trying to get the foundation in place. And so what we're going to do is help you map out the plan based on a checklist-based process and based on the goals that you've uniquely set for yourself so that you can walk away from this session saying, okay, here's the goal, here are the KPIs we have to hit, and here's what we need to do with our online marketing strategy this quarter to make all of this a reality. And really, my objective is to set you guys up for a massively successful third quarter, and more importantly, a really successful second half of the year. So you can close 2021 as productively and profitably as possible. So with that said, we're going to dive into the workbook now. Christian, if you could drop the link to this in chat. I want all of you guys to open up this document right here. It's the 2020 the quarter three planning session workbook. And excellent. I see a lot of your faces coming in. If you have any issues with this, this is in Google Docs. So it's just a normal Google Doc. We want to make this as something easy for you guys to work with digitally. And once you've got it open, what I want you to do is go File, Make a Copy. So you just hit the File button, you hit Make a Copy, and then rename it for yourself, Quarterly Planning Worksheet, and then name it your company name. So, Josh's Plumbing and Heating, Mark Francis Plumbing and Heating, whatever your company name is, Quarterly Planning Workbook, and you can make this your own. Again, this is a very, very like you doing the work, me kind of guiding the process type session. So, be sure to take a couple seconds, open this up so you can follow along. If you could, in the chat, just give me a 1 when you've got your workbook up, just so I can know that I'm not moving too quick. Yana's got it. Frank has his. Katie, awesome. Lisa. Wayne says 1 WON. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Christian, as people log in potentially, while we're going, please drop the link again and again so we can make sure everybody has it, because this is going to drive our session. And so if you scroll down, the first thing I want to make sure that we're all clear on is if we fail at the plan, then we're planning to fail, and that's universal. So the fact that you're taking the time out right now to plan out the quarter, to break it down by month, and to build an action plan, sets yourself up for success. And I've got a visual here that in our mind is the digital dominance method. It's really what you want to do to maximize your lead flow across the internet. And it just spells out, right? Like we want to make sure we've got a great website that's ranking organically. We want to be tapping into paid search, whether that's Google ads or local service ads. We want to make sure that we're retargeting people that get to our website and bringing them back, because we know not everybody converts. We want to make sure we're not sleeping on the paid online directories, things like Angie's List and Local Plumber and different sites like that. Recently, I've heard from a number of our clients, Angie's List is working pretty well. Thumbtack, Nextdoor, right? People look at these services more and more. And so you want to make sure that you've got, at least you're aware of them and you've got an idea, like, should I be in those? Should I have a free listing or a paid listing? That we're also looking at repeat and referral strategies to take our existing client, make sure they use this again and again, and that they're referring us to their friends and we're a referable business. We want to make sure that we're looking at some of the pay-per-lead options. And so that's maybe like your home advisors, your local plumber networks, those types of services. Not a huge fan, but I think if you've got a great mechanism to follow up with your leads quickly, you can monetize those leads and make sure that you've got all of these different buckets to pull from to make sure you've got the lead flow required to hit the targets. And then we want to make sure we're thinking about paid media like Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and then we're also doing some type of proactive follow-up, either via direct mail or email at a very minimum. So this is just a visual, like as you look at the big picture of your internet marketing strategy, something for you to go back to and say, okay, what should we be doing if we really want to maximize our lead flow? And what I find is when companies are really aggressively doing like 3 or 4 of these, they can really control their destiny in the terms of the number of leads they generate and the number of jobs that they book into the field. So moving past that, let's dive into the plan. We're right now in the middle of the start of the third quarter. And what we want to do is map out July, August, and September, get really clear on those goals, get really clear on those targets. Before that, we need to make a snapshot. And so snapshot is just putting a flag in the ground as of the beginning of July. Where do we sit as a business? And so I want to have you guys all for just a quick second, go in here and enter What's your average monthly revenue right now? Are you doing 50K, 75K, 100K? What's your average monthly revenue? How many jobs are you running on a typical month? And then some of your other important metrics, because you're going to need this to fill out the worksheet I'm going to walk you through here in a minute, which is what's your average ticket? What's the average conversion rate in the field? So once a technician gets out of the house, what percentage are they actually converting into a job? And then how many trucks do you have in your business right now? So I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes. Actually, I'll put 3 minutes on my timer, and you guys are all just updating the current snapshot. And if you get into the rhythm of doing this on a quarterly basis, it'll be good for you because you'll be able to look back and say, okay, our average monthly revenue is up or down. Our average ticket is either up or down. And there's lots of things you can do within the business to control that. And those are just business metrics that will really determine the success or failure of your marketing. So 3 minutes, get your snapshots in. This will help drive everything we're going to do from this point forward. If you have any questions while you're filling this out, let me know. And for those of you that are willing, I'd love to have you share this with me so that our team can look at it and help fill in some gaps for you. So to do that, all you have to do is hit share in the top right-hand corner, and then just share this to Josh Nelson IMC@gmail.com. Don't have to, it's your document. This is yours to do as you see, but if you're willing to share it, we can help you a little bit more by going share and then entering that. Josh Nelson IMC@gmail.com. Kevin says, so this is information I haven't been able to obtain since it's my first day. Will I still be able to follow along? Yep, you'll be able to follow along. Don't sweat it. Enter it if you know it. If you don't, these are things you're going to want to know, right? Especially if you're involved in the marketing and the business, you need to know what our average ticket is. You need to know what our average conversion in the field is so that you can build strategies that are going to be as effective as possible. So I don't want to give too much time, but I also don't want to rush anybody along. So if as you're going through this worksheet, if you've got it done, give me a 1. And kind of that would indicate to me in the chat, 1, good to go. I'm ready to work on the next thing. I'm ready to keep moving down the worksheet. Just give me a 1 in chat when you're ready. Kathy's good. Donna's good. Once I have a couple of you that say you're ready, I'm going to start to press forward. If you're pulling this up either in Service Titan or you're pulling it up in your accounting system, I'm going to give you guys a couple more seconds to get this fleshed out. Average revenue on a monthly basis, kind of what did you do in June? What did you do in May? How many jobs are you running on a typical monthly basis to get to those revenue numbers? And then what's your average ticket? What's your average conversion rate in the field? And then how many trucks do you guys have in the operation? Okay. I think it looks like most of you are done. If not, you'll be able to go back and spend more time on this as you go. I think it's really important to kind of connect with your long-term vision every quarter. And so I'm not going to spend 20 minutes on this, but just really quickly, if you could project forward to 2025 and everything went according to plan and, just business is where you wanted it to be, what would it look like? How much revenue would the company be doing on an annual basis? How many trucks would you have? And I want you to just write a brief paragraph underneath on why. Why is that important for you? Why is getting to that level important? Is it so that you can buy a new house? Is it so that you can, employ more people in your local market? Is it just so that you have the financial freedom to feel confident in what's going on? If you're the marketing director, this might be harder to answer. But if you're the business owner, just a couple minutes long-term, where do you want to see the business by 2025? How many trucks do you want to be running? And what's the reason? going to give you guys 2 minutes, connect with your long-term vision. And if anybody's willing to post their why, I think everyone would benefit from hearing, why is this important to you? Why is, growing your business to that level something you're striving for right now? Now, Simon Sinek says, start with why. And the more connected you are to the why, the more powerful it is for you, the more powerful it is for your team, the more powerful it is for everybody on board. More likely that you actually hit the short-term goals and the long-term goals that you're striving for. So somebody in chat, we've got a solid group live with us. What's your why? Why are you so focused on building your business? Kathy, Yana, Kevin, Wayne, somebody chime in for me here. Jared, because he wants to build it for sale. Awesome, powerful, right? The more revenue, the better the profitability, the greater valuation, and you can have a great exit at some point down the road. Thank you for sharing. Okay, it looks like most of us have it. Kevin says, from what I understand, it's to provide an environment that focuses on employees and their quality of life. Very cool. Okay, so let's get into the quarterly planning part of this. And so if we scroll down, you're going to see 90-day goals that basically take us through September 31st, 2021. And what we're going to do is we're going to break this down month by month. So what I want you guys to do, this is a kind of a manual way to do it. I have a worksheet that I put together for you guys that's going to make this really easy. So you can either click it directly from your worksheet, or I'm going to share this document for you. And now we're getting to the actual goals and targets for the quarter. And if you don't mind, look at my screen for a minute, and you'll be able to see kind of what I'm going to do here, what the plan is. Again, same thing, you're going to file, make a copy. But on this first tab, it says quarterly goals. What I want you to do is put in what's your current monthly is. So let's say you do $125,000 typical month. What's your average ticket? So let's say average ticket $750. It's different for everybody. And then what's your lead conversion rate? That's for every lead that comes in, either SEO, pay-per-click, they saw your truck, they heard your radio ad, whatever it is. What percentage of those are you booking to a dispatched job? Some of you know, like if you monitor this closely in Service Titan or some other platform, put the actual number. If you don't know, I would say probably guesstimate somewhere around 55%. So we want to put in a number. I'll just put 55%. So these are the key metrics at the top. The things in green are the things you're going to have to add. And then what are the targets for July, August, and September? Like literally, how much revenue reasonably are you going to generate within your business? So let's just, as this example, I'm going to put 125,000 in July. Then we're going to go to we're going to go to 135, and then we're going to go to 150. Let's just say it was pretty aggressive goals, but that's what I want you guys to have in. And then the automation will help us drill down. Like, okay, so how many jobs would we need to generate in order to make that a reality? How many leads would we need to generate in order to bring that into fruition? And then, you can also put in what your average cost per lead is from your marketing, and that would tell you how much you probably need to invest to hit those targets. So start here, guys. Just enter the top cells, and then the sales targets month by month, July, August, and September. Give me a done in the chat once you've got this filled in. And if you have any questions, please let me know so I can help guide you. Yana's done. Yana, what's the goal for September? By the time you guys get to September, what revenue target are you guys shooting for? Some of you just logged in. We're working through the Q3 planning worksheet. Dang. Yana needs at least 6,000 leads per month. Wow. Okay. Big targets. How much revenue does that generate? I'm curious. I know you guys focus predominantly on water heaters. Can't speak to dollars. Okay, fair enough. Yep. If you want to keep that private, that's totally fine. So if you're tracking along with me, this should make it pretty simple for you to see, all right, here's how much we're at right now. Here's what our average ticket is. Here's where we're going to shoot to be on July, August, and September. And here's how many jobs we need to generate. Here's how many leads we need to generate. And here's how much we're going to need to invest in our advertising budget. And that's not just online, that's your entire internet marketing budget. Give me a 1 if you feel like this is helpful, just kind of having a framework to see what the targets are and kind of what the benchmarks you need to shoot for. Josh says 1, okay. Excellent. Just type good in the comments here if you're good. Yana says so helpful. Kevin says helpful, helps me understand where to start. Excellent. Just so you guys know, there's a second tab that says lead generation targets. Oops. The third one over, average lead cost by source. This just gives you some benchmarks to work from. So within PPC, plumbing, you're going to be looking at $40 to $50 per lead on plumbing and HVAC. LSA, you're going to be like 30, 35, and 17. Repeat and referral should be very low, like $5 per lead on average, dollars spent advertising to your existing customer base. Blended average, we're seeing somewhere between $25 and $50 per lead. So, if you don't know, this should give you some target to shoot for. So if you're plumbing, somewhere like $25 per lead. If you're HVAC, something like $32 per lead. Obviously, your plumbing, your PPC leads are going to be a little bit more than your organic leads and leads that come from other sources. So we should now have our targets. Ideally, you can go in and update this average cost per lead, let's say to $32, and that would tell you what you need to spend, right, between $10,000 and $12,000 per month in your marketing to generate that lead volume to hit that target. So what I want you to do now is take your numbers from here and just bring them back over to your planning workbook. And if you come down to where we were, quarterly targets, just, what are those targets? How many jobs do we need to run? How many leads do we need to generate? And or what I would do probably, because I think it's easier and cleaner, would be just to take a screenshot of this or copy this information and move it right over to your sheet. So as opposed to re-entering it, what you could do is just paste that in as a linked spreadsheet. And now you can see exactly what your numbers are. Give me a 1 if that makes sense. I want to make sure I'm not losing anybody. I try to make this as simple as possible. All right. Brianna says it makes sense. Perfect. All right, great. Hey, listen, I'm getting 1. So this is good. So now on your worksheet, you have the key basic information that you need. You've got your targets and you've got your benchmarks, and you've got your KPIs, which is how many leads we're going to need to generate in order to hit our job target. How many jobs are we going to have to run in order to hit our revenue targets? Your entire marketing budget can be reverse engineered. Your entire marketing strategy can be reverse engineered from this information. So I'm going to delete this from the sheet. And you can now use this to go back to your marketing strategy and be like, are we built to generate that quantity of leads? Yana said she needs 6,000 leads. Anybody else, can you just put in so I can make sure we're all tracking along together what your lead target is? Just put a number in, month by month or by the end of September, how many leads you're going to need to generate to hit the sales and revenue target that you set for yourself. If you don't enter, if at least a couple of you don't enter it in, I'm going to feel like I'm just talking to myself here, or that we're not actually following with me, which is no good. Either way, it's no good. All right, Marcelo needs 750. Kevin says he doesn't know because he's new to the role. That's fine. Okay. A couple of you have it. Hopefully you have it. And if you need to go back and work through it, by all means, if you'd like to jump on a session with us to help you map this out, we'd be glad to do that with you. Okay. So now we can shift from setting targets and benchmarks to what do we have to do? What's going to be our action plan in order to get that volume, right? In order for Marcelo to hit 750 leads, what do we have to do, right? And for each of you guys, it's going to be a little bit different. And it really does boil down to this digital dominance method. It boils down to, let's look at the different strategies that are available to us and break it down by checklist format. So I'm gonna walk you guys through this, but ultimately, to me, it starts with your website, right? All of your marketing, whether it's your SEO, your pay-per-click, your Facebook ads, the local marketing that you do within your market space, people wind up on your website and they make buying decisions on your website. So we want to start with the website, make sure that the website is great, that it's built to convert. And so I've got a little website review here that I'd like you guys to do. And I'll show an example, right? We want to make sure your website's built to convert, that when somebody gets there, they're like, okay, this is a solid company, the kind of company I want to do business with, and make the buying decision to convert. So I put an example of a great plumbing website as well as a great HVAC website as a point of reference, right? And you guys can go in and look at this. Both of these websites convert north of 40%, visitor to caller or visitor to inquiry. And so if you're converting at that level, you're going to be much more successful than if you're not. And so what this document's going to help you do is look at your website. Say like, okay, does it speak to your ideal target avatar? So you think about your customer, their fears, their frustrations, their concerns. Like they just want to know that you're going to provide exceptional service. You're going to be available on their time frame. And so just make sure that the messaging on the website speaks to that. So that's the first thing. If not, go in and modify that. The second thing is, does it have authentic imagery of your team? People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And we found, to the extent that you have real pictures of the people within the company, either the owners or the people that are going to show up, and it seems real as opposed to just generic stock imagery, it converts better. So, if you're looking at the Valley Plumbing website here, you can see lots of authenticity. That's one of the reasons this website converts as well as it does. Are you leveraging video? Like people say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, then a video is worth 1,000,000, right? Because it gives people the opportunity to get to know, like, and trust you. And so you can see here an example of,
I am a master plumber that just so happens to own Valley Plumbing.
Valley Plumbing here, speaking directly to their ideal customer, speaking directly to that audience. And so you could have video like that on your homepage, on the service pages, talking about each of the different services you offer. And it will absolutely help with competition. You can have a video that explains why somebody should choose you versus the competition. And so I'm going to go through this checklist. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to pull up your websites and just kind of say, like, run it through this lens. Does it showcase your online reviews and testimonials, right? One of the biggest things that people want to do before they do business with you is see that you're solid, right? 100+ reviews on Home Advisor, BBB accredited. And to the extent that you can really showcase your reviews and your testimonials, you're going to convert even better. And so if we hit the reviews site here, we can see this is a great company that provides great service. And if we're thinking about doing business with them, we're like, okay, yes, professional quality. So you want to make sure that that's front and center on your website. And then, you want to have some of the basic fundamentals, like the phone number in the top right-hand corner. You want to make sure that there's a web form that they can fill out to book an appointment. You want to make sure that you're using those credibility factors, that each one of your page tells them exactly what to do. There's a clear KPI, a clear call to action. We want to make sure there's also an opportunity for them to engage in chat, right? More and more people have moved to wanting to chat and text versus call. If you don't have a chat function on your website, that could be really low hanging fruit. Especially I like two-way text message chat, and we've got a great platform for that if you don't already do it. And then are you following up with the leads via quick automation? So this is the checklist for your website. We're thinking about on a quarterly basis our digital marketing plan. Take a couple minutes, pull up your website and check the ones that you can say, got it, and then highlight the ones that you're like, hey, you know what, I need a welcome video on the site. I think that would help with conversion. Highlight it in green. I need to add some chat to my site. We're not doing that today, right? Highlight that in green. The messaging just isn't congruent. I feel like we could do better on that front. And so that's what I'd like to have you guys do. Kind of check mark the ones that you've got done, and then highlight the ones that you don't. Marcelo, we implement for our clients a tool called Conversion Amp, which is a platform we've developed that's just really good. It's got two-way text messaging. It's got chat. We can talk more about that later if you like, where you can schedule a call with Christian, who's on here, and he can show you a step-by-step demo of that. So as you guys are pulling this up, I just want to kind of show you for Valley Plumbing, because we're showing them as an example, what's possible when you get the website dialed in and it's really built to convert at the highest level possible. This is our tracking dashboard. It kind of shows how much did they spend, how many leads did they generate, what's their average cost per lead, and it's loading up. So on a $3,310 investment, they tracked 635 leads. So their average cost per lead blended is about $5.25. That's 435 came directly from organic. We're going to talk about how to get the SEO dialed in, because that's really, really important. 6 via PPC, 187 from Google Maps, and 10 via chat. So because they've got a diverse marketing strategy looking at the digital dominance method, they're really able to tap into a lot of different opportunities. And I'm going to show you on the SEO summary here. The website converts at a very, very high level. So right now, you guys should be going through your website and identifying the things that you need to pull up, things that you need to improve on the website, things you need to dial in. Ideally, I like to have all of you come back with at least 2 or 3 items that this quarter you can change or update on the website that will move the needle for you. So give me a 1 in the chat if you're good on this, if you're good on the website review side of the equation. I don't want to give too much time, but I also don't want to breeze through it too quickly. David Velasquez, good to go. Anybody else? Kevin's good. Awesome. Okay, so that's the website review. The second thing we want to look at is the SEO review. And I think the SEO review of your website's important because it's easy to say, let's spend more on pay-per-click. It's easy to say, let's spend more on Facebook ads. But we also want to make sure we're showing up for the keywords people are typing in when they look for us. So I just, real quick, I went and I typed in Orlando plumber. You can see Shamrock Plumbing comes up here at the top. You can see that he comes up very well organically. And this particular client ranks for hundreds of keywords in and around Orlando for plumbing, drain cleaning, water heaters, and everything in between. And if you look at the website from an SEO perspective, there's a couple of things, right? First of all, the title tag on the site says Orlando plumber, Shamrock Plumbing, Orlando, Florida, repiping, right? The H1 says Orlando plumber and repipe specialist, right? And there's lots of great unique content from the on-page SEO perspective that drive the results, right? The on page is probably 30% of it. The off page, the links, the citations, the online reviews drive the rest of the result. But foundationally, right, there's pages on the site for each of the services. And this is why he can rank for Orlando drain cleaning and Orlando repiping and Orlando everything else. So if we just go, I'm going to show some of this stuff for you guys and then let you guys quickly shift to like looking at this for yourself. So there he is, second spot for Orlando repiping. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of searches, but he comes up for a lot of stuff. And this is a secondary site we set up for him, Repipe Orlando, which, you know, ranks for almost all the repipe terms and keeps 3 crews busy just doing repipe jobs. So we want pages for each of our services. We want pages also for each of the cities that we operate in. So he works in Metro West and Windermere and Winter Garden and Kissimmee and all of these other places. So this checklist will help you look at your website from an SEO perspective, at least from an on-page perspective, to help you see like, what do we need to do from an SEO perspective? So do you have the main keyword in the title tag, which is this area up here on the homepage and the various pages of your site? Drain cleaning Orlando, right? I don't want to get too technical, but you know, that's pretty easy. You should be able to look at any of the pages of your site and see, do we have a city and a service in our title tag? Do we have pages for each of the core services we offer? So not just plumbing, but plumbing, drain cleaning, water heaters, repiping, trenchless sewer replacement, and HVAC, AC repair, heating repair, all of those. So like another example for you, HVAC and other services, right? Pages for each of the different services, pages for each of the different things that they do, and then pages for each of the cities that they operate in. So as you go through this portion, do we have pages for the services? Do we have pages for the cities? Do we have pages for the brands that we install? Is there unique content on all of the pages of the site, right? You're gonna make sure you didn't like copy and paste from some other website. Does it come up for the most important keywords? And so for this, you could just run a couple searches for yourself, your city plus AC repair, plus plumbing, plus all those various terms. And if we go to Google and we look for you, do you come up? And that's, you know, that's pretty important, right? And then are you creating new content, blogging and creating inbound links back to your website? What a lot of people think is that SEO is just about the content, the site structure, the linking. But the reality is what really drives your rankings is going to be, you know, are you consistently putting out new content? Are you getting links from other websites to your homepage, to the sub pages on your site? And that's really how you can move up the results for the most important keywords in your service area. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes, look at your website, look at it through this lens, and you can see it. Should we hire someone for website SEO or can we do it ourselves? I mean, if you're a plumber or an HVAC contractor, you should probably hire someone to do this for you. And I mean, that's what we do here at Plumbing and HVAC SEO. Like we do this for plumbing, HVAC, home service companies across the country. If you'd like to talk with us, we'd love the opportunity to chat. So at the bottom of your workbook is a link where you can schedule a one-to-one strategy session where we would run a ranking report for you. We'd look at your website and tell you exactly where there's room for improvement. But you know, that's your call. So while you pull that up, I'll just pull up Shamrock Plumbing here. Kevin says he's a full-time marketing person and they hire out for both, right? You need a specialized skill to do it correctly, but it is important for you to be able to look at it and see, you know, are the fundamentals in place? Does this look good? Is there room for improvement? And so you can see here Shamrock Plumbing on a $3,000 monthly investment in their website, in their SEO, and their paid search, 777 leads generated, average cost per lead of $3.93. This is crazy. I don't want you guys to look at this and think it's a benchmark. This is an anomaly, but he just does so well organically that the results are tremendous, right? And so there's 283 from organic, 53 from PPC, 363 from Google Maps, 78 from web forms. We've been doing this for Mark at Shamrock Plumbing. He was like one of our second or third clients. We've been doing it for a long time. We've built up a lot of authority. We've built up a lot of page one rankings. But the basic fundamentals are exactly what I just shared, right? Are exactly what are on this checklist. So what I want you to do is highlight the ones that you need to do. Maybe you need to create some more city pages. Maybe you need someone that can focus on new content and link building for you. If so, we'd love the opportunity to chat. This is what we do. So go through that, guys. Work through it. I'm going to post something else up here on the side. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. Look at the SEO review. Give me like in the chat, just give me a 1 if this is helpful, if you're tracking with me, or it's kind of a different format for me. I'm doing less talking and more ideally having you guys work on stuff. Give me a 1 if this is working for you. Kevin says helpful, good. How do we start a smart mail list? What tools and processes do you recommend? David, I recommend, Ted says 1, thank you. I would recommend, there's like things like mailing lists for direct mail or for email. Okay, for email, there's MailChimp, there's Constant Contact. We have a tool that we use called Conversion Amp that we can set you up on, lets you do emails, SMS, text message communication, as well as, marketing automation. That's really what I would recommend at this point. And so if you'd like to learn more about that, it's conversionamp.com. And it, great tool. Lets you call out, lets you SMS, has automation that can follow up immediately with the leads that you generate. You can see a demo of this by going to conversionamp.com/demo. Oops, that's not it. Hey, Christian, can you make sure that the right link for the demo is there? I just have it wrong in my head, I think. But yeah, that will let you send email broadcast and text broadcasts. Can you manage multiple accounts? Yes. Yes, you can. All right, back to our workbook. Everybody should have had a chance to run through the SEO review. Did anybody find anything that stuck out to them? Like, okay, here's something I need to work on. Ideally, that's the purpose here. Find some things that are needing improvement. Either paste them in or just give me a, yep, I found this, or give me a yes, I found some things. Awesome. Kevin found some things. I realized that this check part didn't get dropped into Google Maps, which is also very important. And I'm just going to add this. You guys can either copy this to your sheet if you didn't get it, or just look over here and look at it as a point of reference. And what we're looking for on Google Maps is, have we claimed and verified the Google Map listing? Yes. Do you have access to it? As the owner of your business, you want to have access to your Google My Business listing. Is it properly optimized? And then really when it comes to Google Maps, the other things that really drive rankings are you in all of the major online directory sites? So are you on Angie's List and City Search and all of those with consistency of your name, address, phone number? And probably even more important is, do you have lots of online reviews? And so the real things I want you guys to think about is, do you have a proactive strategy for getting reviews every day from your customers? And are you posting to Google My Business on a weekly basis, creating questions, answering questions? We've got a whole training that walks us through like how to optimize for the Google Map listings. And that if you want more information on that, you can go into it. So, Kate, Katie says the SEO aspects look good. Christian's doing a great job managing the account. Awesome. We really appreciate your business and glad to hear that that's the case. So again, just to be specific here, let's just do Orlando Plumber. I spelled Orlando wrong, but so he's got the #1 ranking. And usually if you look in any market, the ones that rank best, it's not always, but a lot of times they have lots of reviews. They have a real location in the real service area. And their listing, has been properly cleaned, has been properly optimized, has images of the real people, just like you would on your website. And so you just want to make sure that your fundamentals are in place. If there's one thing that you should probably focus on more than anything else in terms of getting ranked in the Google Maps, it is online reviews, right? Conversion Amp has a review automation plugin where basically after every service call, the customer can get an email and a text message. There's other platforms like Nearby Now, which we highly recommend, Review Buzz, PulseM. There's lots of platforms, there's lots of tools. I'm more interested in knowing that you have some type of consistent review request process going out. Yana, always working to improve content. Very interesting conversion and product. Awesome. Would love to get with you on that. I think that could be a game changer for you guys. And I'm glad to talk more about kind of why that's powerful and why it really drives great results. Okay, so now we're through like the SEO review part of this. We want to move to now paid search, right? There's so much we can do from an organic perspective in terms of optimizing the website, in terms of structuring it correctly. After that, what we need to do is make sure we're tapping into paid search opportunities. And if I'm going to go real quick, I'm just going to run a search for Plainfield AC repair. And what we can see is local service ads, a pay-per-click listing, the maps, believe it or not, so ton of people click on the maps, and then we've got the organic results, right? And this local service ads has become very prominent, and it's a very good opportunity for you guys if you're not plugging into it at this moment in time. And so my first question here is, are you maxing out your local service ads budget? If you're not, this is something you should probably look at, right? And if you're a client of ours, we can walk you through it. If you're not, what you would want to do is in any market, just pull up the local service ads search result, and you can get more information about local services here. What I can tell you is the clients that are on local services are doing really well. The lead quality is good. The average cost per lead tends to make a lot of financial sense. We've got a very detailed walkthrough training, if anybody needs it, that explains exactly how this works. And can walk you through like how do you get on local service ads, how do you optimize your budget, how do you optimize your rankings. But since this is more of a quarterly planning session, the question here is, are you on local service ads and are you maxing out your budget? If you're not, you're probably spending a little bit more on pay-per-click than you might need to, because you should be tapping into every local service ad opportunity you can, and then diversifying outside of that as of Q3 2021 would be my suggested play. From there, do we have retargeting in place? We should absolutely be retargeting. Basically, all retargeting is making sure that anybody that gets to your website, whether they got through from SEO, from pay-per-click, or because they saw your ad, or because they saw your truck and pulled up your website, we want to retarget them. So they start to see banner ads. They start to see us across the internet to bring them back. We know something like 90% of the people that get to your site don't convert, but they're in your market and they're in need of your services. And so I'm really going to encourage you to think about putting some type of retargeting in place. As it relates to your pay-per-click, just, are you strategically targeting your Google ads? Like, do you have different ad groups for each of your services? Are there different text ads being displayed when somebody searches for you? Do you have landing pages that are built specifically for the pages that you're bidding on? This is big, right? do a review of your Google ads and make sure that you've got it structured, in a detailed and smart way. Are you running Facebook ads to your ideal prospect base? Do you have a premium ad on Angie's List, Yelp, CitySearch, YP.com? Angie's List in certain markets seems to be doing pretty well. And then at the bottom of this checklist, if you're slow on leads and you need more volume to hit your targets, there's almost an infinite supply of leads to be bought at Home Advisor, but know that the quality of that lead is lower. It's going out to multiple contractors. But if you use something like Conversion Amp, you can get a lead from Home Advisor, put it into the system, have an immediate phone call and text message go out to that client, and have an automatic marketing follow-up campaign that really can convert more of your Home Advisor leads than you might think possible. Again, low quality, but down here, like if you're struggling to hit your targets, that's a good thing to pay attention to. So I just want to give you guys a minute, like kind of run through this PPC review. And is there anything here that you need to work on from a PPC perspective? So I'm pulling up Cardinal, large company in Sun Prairie, plumbing, HVAC, home services, really led with more on the HVAC side. Larger budget, but also a larger company running a lot more volume. $12,000 invested in online marketing, 1,313 leads tracked this last month, $9.16 per lead on HVAC is really, really very good. And you can see a nice distribution, organic, 181 on pay-per-click, 700 from Google Maps, 132 via web chat. And so don't fall asleep on any of these, right? So the reason I pull this up is that some people just want to do pay-per-click and they don't realize that, look, there's lots that come from organic. Other people like, I just want to do organic, and they don't realize that they can really generate good quality leads and control their volume by tapping more aggressively into paid ads. This doesn't bring into account their local service ads and their ads from other services that actually generate lots and lots of opportunity for them. Give me a 1 if you're good on the PPC review, like you feel like you've kind of thought that through, you recognize there's some room for opportunity there, and it's something you're looking at. Awesome. Perfect. Social media, you want to look and make sure that you've got Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram accounts for your business, that they're optimized. And are you posting on them on a consistent basis? Right? I really feel like social media right now for plumbing, HVAC, home services is a great place to connect with your client base, to develop, local awareness, and to drive more repeat and referral business. If they're seeing you on their social media, on their social feed, they're more likely to refer you. They're more likely to connect with you. But I really think for you guys, a lot of you, the biggest opportunity here is lead conversion. As I look at most plumbing, HVAC, home service companies, they generate leads, but there's a leaky bucket in that they don't follow up with the leads quickly and they're not converting them at the highest level possible. And that's really where Conversion Amp comes into play. What we can do with Conversion Amp is put a mechanism in place where all your leads get followed up within 5 minutes or less via phone, SMS, and email. And it's just a marketing automation platform. Again, Christian put the link in to do a demo. I would recommend all of you guys do this demo. And if your online marketing isn't doing this today, it's missing an opportunity. So this page right here, plumberseo.net/demo, 6-minute video walks you through it. I'm not going to waste your time on today's session to show you, but pretend like this is a web form on your site. And you're asking the normal things, your name, your phone number, your email, and a description of what they have in place. Usually that form is going to the office via email. Somebody in your office has to see the email. Somebody in the office has to call that person back. And it only happens once or twice a day. So very few leads are getting a quick, immediate response. With Conversion Amp, what happens is they immediately get a text message, because that's how most people respond anyways. And they get a text message that says, hey, thanks for filling out the form on our site. Did you want to schedule a service call? And they write back, yes. And if they write back yes, then it immediately takes them to a calendar page where they can tentatively book a time for one of your technicians to come out. We found that just that piece right there significantly improves the conversion rate on web forms, but it also sends an email out to the prospect, and it also calls the prospect in your office. And your office, whoever it is that's there, gets a call that says, hey, you have a new lead, press 1 to connect with them now. And it hard dials that person. So this is a great mechanism we can put in place for you. I highly recommend it. We're seeing tremendous results with it. But whether you use this or some other mechanism, what I want you to think about on your quarterly review here is, are you following up in 5 minutes or less? Do you have conversion campaigns that touch your prospects 5 to 7 times via phone, email, and or SMS? Are you starting to develop a database with your customers and prospects' emails and cell phone numbers that you can work? Are you sending out an email newsletter on a monthly basis? This right here is low cost, low cost. If you touch your customers via email once a month, at least once a quarter, you're going to get free business, because like, oh yeah, that's right, I needed this. Oh, I didn't even know that you guys did that. And so it's a good opportunity. And then are you leveraging email to get online reviews and to draw your customers onto social media, which just means, are you sending an email out after every service call? Hey, thanks for your business. Please write us a review. Hey, we'd love to have you follow us on Facebook or on Instagram. So you're building up that following. So as you put out content to your social sphere, it's not just going to a vacuum, but it's going to your real customers in your real service area. So just a quick audit there, guys. Look at your conversion. Make sure that you're tapping into all of the opportunities that are available to you to convert at a higher level. And the next thing is tracking, right? We talked about goals. We talked about targets. You want to make sure a couple of tracking mechanisms are in place. Google Analytics, which will show you how many visitors are getting to the website, how did they get there, how long did they stay, is that volume going up? You want to have keyword tracking in place. So if you think about the different keywords somebody might type in when they look for you, you want a report that's running on a monthly basis that can show you, are you on the first page? Are you on the second page? Are you on the third page? This is something we can set up for you if you don't have it. We use a tool called Bright Local, but there's lots of tools that can run that for you. Are you call tracking? This is a no-brainer. If you're not, you need to know how many calls are coming in. You need to know how many leads are coming in. And it's just the mechanism of conversion app. You can track it. We track it for our clients. Just putting a number up in your header and on the website that isn't your main number. It's a number that people dial that gets, basically tracked through to your main company number. That gives you the ability to see, okay, if I spent 10 grand, how many phone calls did my online marketing generate? And hear those conversations and determine what turned into a booked job, what didn't, and really quantify your results, quantify your return on investment. I do recommend your call tracking be broken down by source so that you can say, here's how many calls came from SEO. Here's how many came from pay-per-click. Here's how many came from other marketing initiatives that you have in place. And do you have a dashboard that shows your average cost per lead, your total spend, and your projected ROI? That's what we put in place for our clients. I've showed you a couple of examples here of it. But just being able to see how much did we spend, how many leads do we generate, what's our average cost per lead, where did the leads come from, and assuming certain benchmarks like an 85% conversion rate from lead to book job, that's 944 book jobs. An average technician conversion rate is 75%. That's 711 in-field, closed leads. And then at an average ticket of 450, and you can dictate what your average ticket is, how much revenue should that have generated? So in this case, they spent $12K. That feels like a lot, but they generated $320,000 in revenue, which is a 26-time return on investment. The point is, as you're thinking about your quarterly plan, you want to pause for a minute and just be like, do I really know where the money's going? And do I know that there's a return on investment on the back end of that spend? If you don't, it's easy to spend a lot of money and have very little to show for it. And then are you leveraging a CRM, House Call Pro, Service Titan, something along those lines to really track, how many leads and how much actual revenue is booked? I think this is kind of where we all want to wind up in terms of our tracking. We want to know how much did we spend, how many leads did we generate, how much was generated in terms of booked jobs, and how much revenue was there, so you can have a tangible track on the return on investment. So that's the quarterly plan, right? We've looked at our goals and our targets, and we've broken it down by quarter. And then we looked at an audit of our online marketing. We looked at our website, our SEO, our Google Maps, our pay-per-click, our social media, our lead conversion optimization, and our tracking, and our baseline tracking that we want to make sure we have in place. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you're clear on the kind of what you can do to generate better results and to kind of move yourself towards those targets you set for the quarter. I'd like to have you guys spend a couple minutes, next step wise, put together an action plan for yourself. Here underneath action plan, it breaks down to in my mind, website, SEO, paid search, and lead conversion. Love to have you take the key insights that we've kind of put through in this checklist and paste them in. So on your website, what are 2 to 3 things you're going to change? For your SEO, what are 2 to 3 things you need to put in place? For your PPC, what maybe new paid ads should you be exploring? What changes to your pay-per-click strategy should you put in place? From a lead conversion perspective, are you following up quickly? Just kind of bullet out 2 to 3 in each of these areas that you can move forward. And if you'd like some help with this, you'd like to say, hey, I'd love to have you guys and your team implement for me. There's a link here to schedule a complimentary lead flow acceleration session. And what we would do there is we would run your website, your online marketing through a complete review. We'd run a ranking report for you for the most important keywords. We'd give you a feedback on your website in terms of what needs to change, what needs to improve. And we'll really give you an idea. If that's your goal, here's what it would look like to have us help you execute. And here's what your expectations could be. And here's kind of what that would cost. So that's your next step. Map out your action plan. Schedule a time, either to look at Conversion Amp if you're interested, or to do that lead flow acceleration session. Would love to see if there's any questions or anything that you guys need some help with on this quarterly planning process. Give me a 1 in chat if this has been helpful. If you feel like clearer on your goals, clearer on your targets, and clearer on what you need to do in order to take your digital marketing to the next level in third quarter. Awesome. Kevin, very clear, extremely helpful. Marcella, 1. Yana, this is great. Josh, awesome. Thank you, Yana. I really appreciate that. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Do we work with remodeling companies? It depends. Although if you're ready to take your plumbing, yes. Conversion Amp can work really well for remodeling companies, but our main focus is plumbing, HVAC, and electrical contractors. Excellent. Well, guys, if you would like some help, you can go to go.plumberseo.net/schedule. Again, that's where you would schedule a complimentary review. Thanks for your time. Again, I hope you got great value from today's session. Feel free to shoot me an email, connect with me on social media, send me a personal message if you need any help. And that's it for now. Everyone have a wonderful 4th of July holiday. Let's make it an amazing third quarter, an amazing second half of the year. And thanks for your time. I'll talk to you all soon.